When I met Jesus Christ, he was almost 10 years old, and he was helping his mother push a trolley full of all they owned. And because they couldn't find an inn they could get in, they were heading to the city and leaving Bethlehem. Couldn't you perform a miracle? I'm out of them, he said. I tried turning nothing into warmth, but it just made my mother cry. It just made my mother cry. Mary Magdalene has become a man, and tonight he's old, and she has been riding my tram. Now it's late and she's trying to sleep beneath a poster for a bank. Your dreams are important to us as it bathes her face in gold. Come give us your natural gifts, we make wealth from toil. Come pretend for history's page that we're advancing Australia fair. Let's pretend that we're all advancing Australia fair. Back down the road I found the church we built on the black man's bones was empty, and out the front a sign read all but sold. A sign read all but sold. And we all owe so much money, but to whom we're not quite sure. So head down, we just keep running along our fading golden shores. So head down, we just keep running along our fading golden shores. Come give us your natural gifts, we make wealth from toil. Come pretend for history's page that we're advancing Australia fair. Let's pretend that we're all advancing Australia fair.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Oops, I got my mic. Hi, everyone. I don't have a mic stand, but I have my mic. And I'm here with my subservient. I'm here with my... We were here, Robyn, because we've heard a few things like tomato, baby.
Tomato.
It's not going to wash. We have to think alike.
Well,
But no, I'm here with the fabulous Robyn, and it's great to be here. How are you? Here, give us a kiss.
mwah, it's absolutely fantastic
Were
to
your
see
fingers
you.
crossed?
No. And to be here for your birthday as well, your 60th birthday.
Yeah, it's pretty crappy birthday party. See the reviews?
I did. Max Freedom wasn't impressed at all, was he?
He was heading out the door when someone called his name.
But yeah, so I must say I repent, Michael, for not having the same opinion as you do all the time. So I'm now here with Michael in person to get the information that I need so that I can say what I'm supposed to say.
That's why I came.
And make sure that he tells me how to articulate myself and when to articulate myself.
We're taking the piss because people have actually been saying this to Robyn, which to me is so fucking ridiculous. I mean, we are the freedom movement, not the slave with new master movement. We are the freedom movement, and we are defending everyone's freedoms. And the fact that we think differently is, I think, a gift.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's right. It's it just surprised me so much to think that people who say they defend free speech would expect people to think
alike.
and say the same thing.
So part of the problem with
ridiculous.
the movement is that, certain groups think you don't think alike, so they're out of the group. This is what we escaped from.
Yeah,
So,
that's right. That's right.
So we escaped. Now, before we go on, just to let you know, before Robyn and I go off for our MMA bout, where we're just going to play into each other, we're going to Topolini's this Sunday, the 15th, at 2:30 p.m. And we're just going to have a thing and chat. And just Robyn's going to go first. And because I've done the 3,700 Ks across, I've got to go second. And and we're just going to have fun. Myself, personally, I'm just interested in meeting who's out here, who's still plugging away, who's sort of been exhausted but wants to be re-inspired. Where are we now? Because we're a different community. We're still a part of the community, but we are a new community that they don't want to recognize, but we are.
Yeah, no, I think I said this the other day. What was it? I don't know if I said it on my show or to someone in person. That when the equivalent COVID commander in the UK joined the Reform Party, a couple of months ago, that was a big waving flag signifying, I would suggest, that you unvaccinated lot, you domestic terrorists, here's one for you, just to make sure you realize that we're going to keep segregating you and telling everybody that you're wrong, you're never going to be right, because a lot of people still have hopes for reform in UK. I have no idea.
That's right. We travels around the world. We probably have no idea. But just to show you the amount of ostracization, which I can't say, that we have to deal with in a everyday work. This is just every day for us now. To let people know we're out of the party, out of the group. This came through from Scotland. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, pedosexual. They missed H, so we couldn't even get in as heterosexuals. We're just not accepted anywhere. The pedos are ahead of us.
God. That's disturbing. Oh dear.
What isn't disturbing nowadays?
Well, you were just telling me something about necrophilia.
There's a Green senator. G'day, Matt. There's a Green senator. I'm not sure Michael's mic is working. Okay. Hello. Well, I've got this bloody brand new thing. What's it about?
Hi, Matt. How you doing? Please go along to Bandcamp, everybody. And
hello. How's that, Matt? Matt, how's that? Is that working? See if that works now. It says it's working down here. This is the thing we bought.
See, this is how dedicated, Michael, I am to making sure I get my instructions. There is currently a massive bushfire.
Yeah, there is.
No joke. Where I live, and no, I left my home to come down to get my orders from Master MGG. It's true, though. I'm laughing, but what can you do about it? We've got all the fireys up there. But anyway.
We're doing the show, even though we don't have a stand. So I'm just installing my new stand here so that I've got something to rest my mic upon. Well, let's just jump in. First off, one of the things we disagreed with, and a lot of people have disagreed with me, and I don't give a shit because of my thoughts, is Carl. Now, I'll state my case again. Carl is basically coming in and trying to take over podcasting. That's what he's doing. But he's got a huge reach of people we can't reach. But when I said victory, the two victories that I think are together, is my mic working now? Hello. Yep. Is one, their side flinched.
Yeah.
He is the best paid newsreader in Australian history. And he said, I'm sorry, I got COVID wrong or something. I should have done the research. Whether that was a lie, whether they thought, hey, if you do that, you'll get in their crowd, whatever it was, their side flinched. what chances do I? And remember, he's on millions and millions and millions of dollars, probably offered more.
Mm.
How much money could they offer you for you to get you and your little human on Channel 9 to say, yeah, we're sorry, we've got vaccinated. We feel so much better now.
Yeah, zero.
There's the victory.
Zero chance anyway, not $0.
There's the victory.
Mm-hmm.
We've and think about it. What's he lost? He kept his job. He probably got a pay rise. He was on everything. Now he wants to do a podcast. He gets millions thrown in to do that. You know, he gets the top or reach out to all the big names. They're all lining up to be on his podcast. So he gets all of that. We lost jobs. We lost career. We lost our country. We got thrown out of families and friends. We lost all this stuff. And who's the side that flinches first?
Yeah.
Their side.
Well, yeah, that's
So that's my thing of the victory. Just that. Just those things, you know.
Well, I do agree with that side flinching. I'm unhappy with the phrase that's a win for us. I don't think it is. The reason why I disagree with it being a win, I do agree with the flinching part. Victory, that's it. Because I'm always, you know, for one, you can see you've just mentioned there that he's trying to get into the podcasting. MSM have been trying to rebrand themselves and, you know, have the podcasting vibe, you know, because everybody's done and dusted with corporate media. But the thing that I worry about is that, you know, they send someone out like Carl, and you know, let's not forget that they are instructed to say what they say.
Maybe. Yeah.
So, you know, I do.
That's a question to ask. Are you, Carl? Are you instructed to say what you say? Because he's doing rants now.
Oh, is he?
He's doing rants.
Okay.
So he does a rants, 1 or 2 rants during the day. And then he does, you know, his work, and then he does the podcast.
God, give me a break. So I'm concerned that, you know, as we've seen time and time again over the past 4 years, corporate media will use limited hangouts, and we've seen it with Spotlight, where they had all, you know, Karen Phillips, the jab injured, Karen, whatever it was.
Karen Phelps, yeah.
And then people say, "Oh, look, you know, mainstream media is finally putting it." No. They use limited hangouts like that so that they can try to hold on to any credibility they've got left and rebuild the trust. You know, remember the WEF, rebuilding trust, and then in the future leverage that so that whatever it is they want to bullshit to us again in the future, we trust them. And
I think that failed. That big thing they had on ABC failed because they tried to control it. That's why you can't go live. They cannot give up control because they don't trust even Carl. They don't trust Carl to go live. Well, you and I, Robyn turned up here. Kelly and I still get over the fact they're here and where we're going next. We were dozing. We had our nanny nap. So you have to get up. Oh, Robyn's here. Oh, my God. We got like 20 minutes and then we're live. No script, nothing.
Yep.
They can't touch that because they don't trust Carl. What will their little grannies think if Carl says a word out of place? You know? So we've still got a degree free us. That'd be interesting to go there. And you said YouTube is preferring lives.
Yeah, it's interesting. They have, you know, when you're doom scrolling shorts, they now, if you doom scroll for long enough, YouTube will bring up people that are live. Most of the time, it's just a whole bunch of weirdos. You know, sometimes you'll come across somebody that's actually worth watching, but you know, for people just discovering this and you watch them, and anybody that manages to get any number of people watching them live on YouTube Shorts, you know, the thought is that it's revolutionary. Well, you know, Cafe Locked-Out and all the podcasters on Cafe Locked-Out, they all stream live. You know,
that's right.
So I'm sorry, all of you YouTube live streamers. It's not revolutionary. My master, MGG, started that revolution, let me tell you.
But we did, didn't we? We go live. In
Yeah.
fact, because we go live, it's really interesting. You see the staged interviews we do us separately, but we don't even really store the lives.
Mhm.
And Facebook, apart from Rumble, but once we do 400 hours, Rumble gets rid of the lives. Not Rumble, StreamYard gets rid of
Yeah.
the lives. So we have no real record.
Mm.
There's some on Rumble, I guess. So you go to Rumble, but you go back Facebook a few years, they delete them. So some would be on Rumble and stuff like that. But together, we have done a effing huge amount
Mhm.
of work. I mean,
Yep.
it's quite nuts.
Yep. Well, I download my episodes off StreamYard.
Well, I guess
so
I do
you-
because I upload them to StreamYard, but not all of them. You know what I mean?
just for perpetuity. And then, of course, if your external hard drive shits itself,
Yeah.
you're in trouble anyway. But anyway.
Yep, we've got those on a few, and you put them in, then you hear them going, and thinking, "Oh my god!" So here's where we are. So anyway, Carl was the other thing. What are your thoughts on the war?
Which one? The
Oh, no,
one
the Iran
the
war,
one
the
in
new one,
Iran.
the new Netflix series.
Yes, very interesting. I think the UAE is in a very precarious situation. I don't think the rest of the world really understands that Iran could devastate the UAE in a second. And that would, for one, destroy the US economy, and then you'd see big things happening around the world. So I don't think people understand the kind of precarious situation the UAE is in at the moment. But
They understand what precarious situation we're in, because apparently Scott Morrison, in the one good thing he did his whole career, bought us 120 million barrels of crude oil, although they were kept in America, and now we've Labor sold them.
is that right?
Yeah, and Labor sold it, and they said, "Oh, they made a little bit of a profit. Good on you." Now, so I was thinking this today, right? Let's go back. I arrived in Australia in 1970. I was 5. We came to Adelaide. My dad got one job in a factory, worked I think 5, probably 6 days a week, and the 6 days, Saturday probably half a day or something. But anyway, worked 6 days a week. He could afford a mortgage. Holidays, we'd go on 2-3 weeks holidays. We'd drive across to Perth. Holidays, everything was great. We didn't feel poor. We had this great time.
Mm-hmm.
And Mum could stay home and look after the kids. She worked if she wanted to, but there wasn't really childcare things, I think. So you'd have someone look after them. So that's how we were. And when you went out into the streets, every single car you saw almost was Australian made. The washing machine that Mum would do our clothes in, Australian made. The toaster we'd make toast with, Australian made. The fridge, Australian made. The TV we watched, made in Australia. Basically, we made everything. And we wouldn't have had a problem with the fuel shortage in Iran because we're sitting on so much fuel. So we were thoroughly independent. And now here we are, thanks to globalization, which was going to make us all wealthier. And here we are, our kids can't afford a house. People working in Sydney full time can't afford a rental. People in country towns, there's no rentals anywhere. And we've got homeless people everywhere in all these country towns. Our people, the children basically of the ones that, like my dad's, the generation after my dad, my generation, really homeless, all here with the government still saying us, we're best at the economy. You know, this is where we're at. And I think this lack of fuel, if this continues, this literally could be the end of the globalization experiment. Because how dumb are we as 28 million people sitting on all this mineral wealth, including oil and gas, and we can't drive our cars? And the only thing our politician says, well, you should have bought an electric car, shouldn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Who was that?
Tim Ayres. He's the senator that said that it's a shame if you drape yourself with the Australian flag. So he said it's a great opportunity. I don't know if he actually used the word opportunity, but for having an electric car, he said that, all the people that have an electric vehicle don't have to worry. So this is have to get a plug in there for, the Great Reset, I guess, and all of the things that make that up. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it's looking pretty blurry here. I'm just going to see. We're staying at a great house, but there's trees everywhere. So we might just take a break to see if there's anything on Big Boy. Yeah, with us, if we vanish, we'll be back as we move to the next one. Waiting. We'll just keep going, see if it's on there. Now, the other big thing here, I haven't talked to them, but you have the fishing.
Oh.
Now, they banned the fishing from, I think, Augusta to Kalbarri.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts, and what have you heard on the street from the fishermen?
Well, I attended the ABC studios a couple of weeks ago because we fisheries minister there on a panel with the ABC with a couple of other people, and in the audience there was a lot of fishermen and a lot of business owners. And one of the interesting things, I think it was Shane from Fish for All, the organisation, if my memory serves me correct, he pointed out and asked the Minister for Fisheries why she's using the term extinction when it's not accurate. And she had to admit that there's two different terms that they can use that refer to extinction. One is, a global extinction. So, Tasmanian tigers are extinct, right? We get it.
So that's localized extinction.
Well,
is that what she meant?
Well, when there's none left.
Yeah.
Like across the globe. Yep. But there's another term, and I can't remember what it is, but it means that, it's not globally. And she actually admitted that her using the term extinction is not accurate, but the reason they're using it is because the general public understands that. And I thought, well, that's one way. I mean, that's disinformation. She's knowingly using an incorrect term to stress her point to the public,
or frighten them more than they have to be,
or frighten them because the data also isn't there, and the fishermen will tell you over and over again that they're not seeing the reduction in stock levels that is being purported by the Minister for Fisheries. So of course the fishers are not happy. Also the business owners are not happy, whether that's tackle shops or fish and chip shops. There was a gentleman from a fish and chip shop in Albany, and he's having to get his fish from New Zealand,
which probably comes from China, because New Zealand repackages everything.
So, and he said it's twice the price. So the other interesting thing that I left that panel was that the University of Western Australia, they had Professor, I can't remember her name, she was on the panel, and she was suggesting that these types of bans, so it's a 20-month ban, these types of ban historically do not work, and that the ban should be for 20 years, or they should turn the area into a marine park and ban fishing of demersal fish altogether forever.
Wow.
So I would say after 20 months, they'll let the recreational fishers back, not the commercial. But and then the recreational fishers, they've announced that you have to tell the authorities what you've caught. But I reckon we're going to see, after the 20 months, that they'll either extend the ban or they will in fact turn into a marine park. So, manufactured food crisis. I mean, we saw that during COVID.
Look,
You know.
Because I saw a list today of all the places we can't go anywhere. Mount Warning, Lake Eyre, Kakadu, all these things are coming through places we can't go. Now, I know we're seen as conspiracy theories, but there's a big thing about 2030. One of the things is no one will have a car.
Yep.
Everyone will live in the city. You'll eat insects.
Mm-hmm.
So they're banning the fishing, so you can't eat fish.
Mm-hmm.
If the petrol keeps going up, then there's going to be a lot of people who can't drive.
Mm-hmm.
And is this it? Do you think this has just happened, or it's just like a comedy of errors, or do you think this is a part of the Great Reset and the hiding of behind the beauty of liberating beautiful Iranian women?
Yeah.
You know? That's what they're like, knights in shining armor. Look, this, and I love the fact that the women are dancing and the people are happy, but we don't actually know how real that is. Is that just a small population? Is there a big population that's not happy? We don't know.
No.
I mean, in reality, we don't know anything anymore.
No. Well, I look around. I don't even know how things happen anymore. I mean, that's how weird the world is.
Do you ever wonder how the fuck we got out of the caves and did anything?
I don't know how we do anything.
Crazy, and we're so incompetent. How did we do it? How did we build a ship? Why do we have ships that sort of just sink and planes that fall out of the sky? I mean, how did we do this shit? You know?
Yeah. The other thing is the farmers. You know.
Yeah, the farmers.
So not only do we have, you know, certainly in Western Australia, you know, you can't go out and feed your family. I mean, there's people that live in that area that actually feed their family by fishing. And they're not able to do that now. And actually, I spoke to Philip Big in Tasmania, and you know, he's a gun owner and a hunter, and he was you know, talking about the gun confiscation and all the, you know, gun laws and all these sorts of things particularly after Bondi. And he said, look, there's people down there that actually feed their family by going out and shooting deer, you know, whatever it might be where they are.
People in Victoria doing the same.
So, and I saw somebody made a comment a little bit earlier, you know, it's all about having people reliant on the state or, you know, the government, whatever it is, from birth and death. And I mean, what are people going to do when they can't feed their family because they don't have a gun, and then they're not allowed in the ocean? You know, they don't have enough money coming in because they've got an exorbitant mortgage and they can't afford food. They're probably already not eating themselves so that their children can eat. You know, what happens, you know?
So our future of a Mad Max fuel-driven nightmare, the real future could be us draped in loincloths with long spears with one foot up against our knee, just going out there and hunting roos. Become full circle.
No, the bugs, Michael. The bugs.
Become the new indigenous. Well, the bugs have all vanished because we came across another, but we didn't see any bugs. So I think the bugs watch social media and they're going, "Here it!"
Let's get out of here.
So the bugs are like, "Whoa, these guys are nuts." There's so this. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's kind of strange how it's happening.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's what I don't know if anybody else feels this, and maybe you can tell me, but it feels like they're really rushing now, and they're making mistakes.
Yeah,
it's becoming obvious. I mean, we started off talking about Carl and the establishment flinching. You know, that they had to do something.
So their hand is forced.
Yeah.
Which could be a rising of humanity because so many people now. In America now, a survey came out from that Nick Hirschler.
Oh, yeah.
50% of Americans now believe huge amounts of people have been killed by the COVID vaccine. 50%.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
So that is a rising. That is a lot of unhappy people rising up. And in Australia, it'd be interesting they did this study here. Not that they're with us, but how many people actually think the jabs are killing people.
See, this is the thing. I don't really spend time with the general public. So it's hard for me to gauge it. But I've heard some interesting conversations in my local swimming pool. So that's been quite interesting listening to people, you know, because you'll get the old ladies that go and walk in the pool, or you get, you know, the 30-year-olds that are hanging out with their little kids in the pool and blah blah. So I've heard people discussing chemtrails, if chemtrails are real, and they'll be pointing and, you know, and trying to explain what it is. And then I heard this older lady was talking about colonization. So they're definitely having these conversations. But yeah, I don't know, because I don't spend
I'm the
time
same.
with them.
There's the other thing that's coming through is not the there was something else. I'll come. So so they're not taking the vaccine. So I think the evidence that they might think that is that they're not taking vaccines.
Yeah.
Vaccine hesitancy is through the roof. That might be due to a little bit to us. And so basically going from there. So we're in this strange time. So I think maybe they are making mistakes.
Yeah.
Perfect example. As my daughter said the other day, she said, I'm watching about the war. But what happened to that new virus that was going to wipe us all out? And
Disease
now
X.
nobody's talking about anymore. You know, the one that was coming's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's gone.
Magic.
One of Trump's missiles must have knocked it midair. Trumped it. So they're trying with this restriction, populated size of yeah, that's exactly right, Malcolm. So but we're here now in this really strange time, because when I go to the shopping center here where we're staying now, everything's just going along like there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But my daughter said this to me, it was really interesting, because she lives with the other side, and she said no one's talking about anything. Because she said when COVID was out, everyone was talking about COVID. No one's talking about the war. No one's talking about the petrol. She said no one's talking about anything in her group. And she said they're over it. It's like one crazy thing after another.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be speaking about at Topolini's on Sunday, is the courage to be quiet. Because there is, and that's, I mean, it all sort of involves everything that we've just been talking about, you know, with the flurry of so many different things happening at once, you know, whether it's the fishing or the farming or, you know, the petrol or the war or, you know, all these sorts of things. Just before I forget, the other thing I wanted to add about the fishing is that I've managed to get a hold of a map. So for people that haven't been following my work about the offshore wind turbines here in Western Australia, there's a number of areas where they want to install offshore wind turbine farms. And I've managed to get my hands on a map that overlays the area of the fishing ban and one of the biggest offshore wind turbine farms that they want to install. So I've noted while listening and following this fishing ban, none of the politicians bring it up. I was surprised none of the fishermen brought it up.
Yeah.
But you have to ask the question.
Yeah.
They don't want anyone in the ocean. Why don't they want anyone in the ocean? Because, you know, the data about the extinction levels, potential, you know, extinction, that data just doesn't stack up. So why don't they want the fishermen in the ocean? You know. But yeah, so anyway, it's yeah, I think it's all happening very quickly. And if 2030 is right, I mean, you know, before you know it, it'll be Christmas again. And then
it's March. What happened to February?
I don't know.
We just skipped right past it, as we do every year. There's now let's just talk. This is I'm just getting the comments. First off, how many people actually think that this is not just another Trump event, but this is the start of something, maybe the 2030? Put in if you think yes for 2030, or you just think it's Trump trying to get out of the Epstein files. We'll get to the Epstein in a sec. But think of with the cars. There is so many. Oh, caravan park at the moment. There are so many caravans starting to come in today, and I guess because of the no fuel, no one is moving. Oh, hey, yep. I know she lives. No one is moving times. And check out, there's not many. That's what I was saying. There's been a huge army of people living on the road. Some are doing it because the grey nomads who are just tourists. A lot of people can't afford to live anywhere else. They're living in their cars. Suddenly, their car can't move because they can't afford the fuel. And so, the fuel is literally the equivalent of a rent anyway. Sometimes they move every day. So you got them, you got food, you got everything. I mean, we literally could be sitting here on the edge of a culture-changing event, even greater than COVID in a way. I mean, you won't just be fighting over toilet paper; you'd be fighting over everything in this.
Well, I think when I spoke to Doc Malik about this, that since 2022, it's become more obvious as the years go by that the government is slowly having the Australian people acclimatise to having less, living with less. Because despite what Albanese says about trying to help Australians with the cost of living crisis, because we know that's all bullshit.
He really believes that, doesn't he?
And Bowen with electricity increasing.
Hello.
Being able to afford less and less and less. We're being acclimatized to surviving with less and lowering our standard of living and accepting a lower standard of living. So that I think at one point in time, people, in 2030, so another couple of years, people look back and think, holy shit, in 2010, what was my family's standard of living and what is my standard of living now, even 2020, for God's sake. And I think people will have a shock because it's been so incremental to acclimatise Australians to survive with less, accept less in their life.
Well, this is what thinking, are we going through something that's been planned for a long time? COVID was just a part of it. And we often used to say that. COVID was part one.
Yep.
And we're thinking that another pandemic will be part two. But no, we weren't going to fall for it. But look at them now. They're saying, hey, we're not doing anything. It's a war, man, And it's only 5% of the oil apparently comes through that strait. So you're thinking, well, why aren't the other oil producers producing the 5%?
I have to be honest. I've not been keeping track of much in the past 2 weeks because of the noise, the noise and the onslaught, the bombardment, the relentlessness of the bullshit that they're throwing at us. You know, and like
the woman in America is soon adopted because he didn't give her a uterus when he did the transitioning.
What?
There's a trans woman in America who's suing her doctors apparently because they didn't give her a uterus when she transitioned.
Is that a joke?
No, it's not a joke. Tom last night had a woman on in Congress who she was there because she was after more grants to try and make MAPS more gay.
Stop it.
And Trump thought it was a joke. I saw it too. I went to share it and I thought, no, that's AI. It's not AI. It's true. They have a thing. They're querying the maps, but querying means so America's at war. And this senator was going, we're at war and we're having to deal with rubbish like this. So I don't know how they make them more gay.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
What the F boys last night couldn't figure it out either.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And apparently she was saying they've already done it with Czechoslovakia or something. It was, I don't know if I have it, but it was just nuts. So, but I do wonder if these things are set to to just screw us over. You know what I mean? And just make us feel this is insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe they're changing the colours of the maps. I don't know. How do you? How do you?
I don't know if I do have it. I'll just have a look, see, because I've been saving certain things. Oh, that's the other thing. The NDIS boys have. Oh, this is my favorite one at the moment. Actually, this one missing. The NDIS independent reporters. Apparently, everyone's after them, threatening them with discrimination, not defaming. What do you call it?
Defamation.
Defamation, and looking to get the videos taken down. We've already shared it, and we'll repost it again. But yeah, they're out actively attacking them, and that's huge. So what they did is they went round to NDIS. It's one of the first times I've watched the whole thing, to all these NDIS establishments, and they went there. They were there. The front of the businesses were there, but nothing else. Nothing else was there. Just yeah.
I saw the part when they hired Airbnb and got the cleaners to come over to clean it.
Yeah, that was it.
And
they didn't take any equipment.
No.
25 minutes, used his tissues and charged them $250. Said they're there for 2 hours.
Yep.
And so it's not that these people, but these people are basically here, and this is how they're doing it. They're just rotting and rotting and rotting, which makes me think of the Roman Empire collapsed into its own corruption. And here there's just corruption everywhere. Look at Victoria with its billions of dollars to the CMFEU. We've got the NDIS is there to help disabled people, and people are just ripping it off like crazy. I mean, how do you turn this around when the government seems to be, so deep into it? That's, yeah.
You have to wonder about the general public, because, this is one of the age-old questions, Michael. Why don't people cotton on that something's going on?
Yeah.
Right? I have a theory about this. There's a certain percentage of the population of the human species that don't have that internal talk.
Yeah.
How you talk to yourself. And I think I was joking with one of the audience members that, the voice inside your head, and it's not about being schizophrenic or anything like that. You actually have an internal chat. It becomes too loud, right? Just be quiet. But there is a part of the population that don't have that internal chatter, and I'm wondering if it's that part of the population that they don't have that conversation with themselves, going, hang on, that's happening there, and that's happening there, and that doesn't seem quite right, and what the F is going on. I think that's my theory. I think these people who don't have that internal chatter and talk amongst themselves maybe are these people that just will never, ever, ever cotton on that something's going on. How else do you explain it?
I have an alternative theory.
Oh, was I right? Did I get it right? Am I allowed to say that, actually, Michael? Sorry, I should have asked permission first.
You should have probably put it past me and the committee. Get George Keswick on the committee. He'd be going, you what? There's so my theory is simpler. I think we look back at the mandates, right, and and especially the mandated jab. What the mandated jab actually said, without ever having to say a word, you are no longer a citizen. You're a serf. Because the government is supposed to serve us, and the government actually said, you don't do what we say, you don't take this experimental jab into your body, we'll cast you out of society. And that basically casting out of society is telling you were never part of society. You were privileged to be here. We do not serve you. You are privileged to live in our village, but only stay here if you do what we say. And now they've basically, the ones that took it and stayed, their mindset now, because it went on for a while, their mindset is one of a serf. Then they are powerless to do anything about it because they no longer have any power in this. Their only freedom they have left is the freedom to endure whatever the masters do. That's my theory, and that us, the ones who either took one or two and suddenly woke up and said no, like Wayne and Bill Robyn and others like that, they're on our side, and this is why we still talk like this. We're still holding on to our freedoms. We freely talk. We freely this. We mean something because we never let them go.
No.
And we paid the price for it.
Yes.
They took all these other things away, and we still held on to it. And so I don't think we live in a country of citizens anymore. I think we live in a country of people who have been broken.
Yeah.
And we're asking them to stand up and do things that broken people can't do.
True. Yes.
You didn't have to say true. But there's $20 in there for you. I'll give you a pay rise. So what we're saying, for those who just come in, there's been people talking to Robyn that, that's not what Michael thinks and stuff. And this is just, we're joking about it, but it really pissed me off. I'm not interested in having everybody thinks like me. I don't even know how I think. To be honest, it's the beauty of the freedom movement. And Hoodie actually says this. Hoodie said to me once, there's no freedom in the freedom movement because if he dares to question chemtrails, people cast him out.
Right. Yeah.
And to me, it's like, well, why can't you have a different opinion? Surely one of the foundational properties of the freedom movement is we can have differences of opinion and we can debate, we can chat, or we can just, agree to disagree.
Well, I think, recently a really big one, which, I haven't got involved in because, my areas of focus are different, but a really big one has been Israel and Palestine. I mean, people in the freedom movement have different opinions about that. Some people are fine that they have different opinions about it. Others are like, no, you have to agree with me about this. And if you don't, you're a blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking, for fuck's sake, everybody, get a hold of yourself. Look.
It's even outrageous. Hey, it's even outrageous because of what we've been through.
Yeah.
All of us now have the right to think for ourselves because we paid the price for our freedom. We have done these hard 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
So we have the right to think for ourselves. And anybody who wants you to think like them or won't hang out with you if you don't think like them, what are you thinking? Seriously, what are you thinking? And let's talk of Palestine. I'll tell you a few weird things about Palestine that changed it for me. One, I don't even remember, Leon and I interviewed a security guard, border guard, who just finished as a border guard in Israel. When they had the first excursion across. I thought it was one of the most powerful interviews we ever did. No, it never went anywhere. It's still up there, but I've played it a few times. It doesn't get seen.
Wow.
But what he said was he was working on that border for 2 years. He said there's no way they could have got across. A sparrow lands on a handrail. It's got to have Apache helicopter up its ass. And if they did get across, there is no way it would take 6 hours for them to reach you.
Mm-hmm.
They're closer to them than you are to your home at the moment.
Yeah, right.
That's the distance.
Yep.
So the huge army's this. And then another young person pointed out to me, and she said, if Israel has the most sophisticated army of all time, and they've had this great attack, so they're full of hate, and now this genocide has been going on for literally 2 years, why aren't they all dead? Because when the Palestinians handed over the hostages recently, or a few months back, they all looked well fed. They all had mobile phones that they were filming everything, big, fat, new mobile phones. Why aren't they dead? Why haven't they been wiped out? I'm not saying it's this. It just, it looks like a very strange genocide. So we have questions, which is all we have anymore. Because it's like they're trying to get us to believe shit. Even the Iran war now, when I watch the news or watch online or Twitter, what I'm seeing is two competing stories. The story to support the Ayatollah and the story to support the young females who want to be free. And the story about the females is winning. You see it everywhere. Everyone's supporting it. The soccer girls going back. Everyone's supporting it. But is it true, or is it just that's their story? One side is one story, one hides the other. Go with your favorite story. And to me, seeing young women dancing in the streets with their hair out and they can choose to wear whatever they want when they want it, to me, that's the story I prefer best. A group of old men telling young women they have to wear this particular thing, and if you don't, we'll rape and kill you. You know, doesn't want me to buy. I don't want to buy the movie ticket to that movie. So this is what they're selling, and this is what we're doing now. So the war is actually a social media war. There is battles going on somewhere, but it's a social media war. And when you think of what's the one in Europe? Russia and Ukraine. Think of the footage we've seen. Have you seen footage of 1,000 tanks crossing and meeting up with 500 tanks? They have this huge battle.
No.
We see groups of little men, usually 3 or 4 at a time, fighting off a drone, or just a few people here or there. You know, this coming up. So it's kind of a social media war for us. And it's just so hard to believe anything. I'm not saying they're not happening, but how do you believe anything? And the one thing that's been outlawed, which we're in trouble for, is asking questions.
Well, that's right. Yeah. I mean, you know, war itself has changed, you know, with fifth generational war. You don't need a tank rolling down your street to be at war. It's a
missile knocks on your door.
War on your mind.
Like Uber missile.
Yeah. You know, and then we've got the introduction of drones as well, especially when you're talking about warfare. But I was listening to someone speak the other day, and he was talking about the war in Iran, and that, you know, America is going to have to decide whether they're going to actually put troops on the ground, because, you know, for the longest time, America is great at flexing, basically, you know.
Yeah.
And great at puffing themselves up in silent wars, if you like. So this sounds like a weird thing to say. It'll be interesting to see if they actually do send troops over. You know, if
my feeling is no.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Another important event, is Jim Carrey real, or was that a fake?
Well, I think I said to you, he's probably trolling us, and then it turned out it was an actor.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, so it was an actor in the end.
Yeah. It's confirmed. It was an actor.
Because I heard it confirmed, but then I heard someone else confirm that it wasn't an actor.
Oh, stop. Well, I missed that update. I missed that.
This is it. So they said it was, and then they said it wasn't. But this is where it is. We don't know where we stand, and people want security, and the best security is a story they believe. That's how it works. 2 + 2 = 4. John Wayne's in charge of the world, and that's here we are. We're now every morning you wake up. I had an idea for a Netflix series or something years ago, or a play, and what it was is you're a producer, you're a film producer, and you get abducted by aliens, and the aliens take you off planet, and you're sitting there in a room with all these different aliens, and they tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Earth is a reality show for the rest of the universe, and the ratings are down. And this is in 2019, and you're the last chance for humanity. And they want you to come up with something for the new season that'll get everyone excited, or they're going to wipe us all out and bring back the dinosaurs because they sell more merch. and you're sitting there and you go, pandemic? That's not, maybe not real. So they're all fighting. Is it real or is it not? And that's it. So we're actually just a reality show for like some red. If they came out as true, it's the only thing that would actually make sense.
Yeah, I thought they wouldn't have to. They wouldn't have to say it too many times for me to believe it.
I mean, maybe we're avatars. Maybe I'm like a red squid with like 7 heads, and who knows where you're from, you know?
Can you, Kelly? Can you put up Trish Wildfire's comment about reliable reporters? No. There it is.
Be careful to not bear false witness. Makes it hard without reliable news reporters. I think that's where we live, Trish. I don't think we can believe anything. I mean, look at Epstein. well, let's go there. The Epstein files.
Mhm.
How many of them are true? How many of them are just they're showing us videos of children being tortured? You can find them, but you can't see Epstein in any of the videos. You can't see anyone famous in the Epstein videos. How do you know these videos aren't from just the CIA vault of all the child porn they've had for centuries? You know, this is we just don't know what the truth is anymore.
Well, if anybody hasn't heard of Johnny Vedmore, go along to, you can find Johnny Vedmore on any social media platform, and his webpage is called newspaste.com. He's been researching Epstein for I don't know, just under 10 years, I want to say, from memory, and he's researched people around Epstein as well to be able to explain Epstein and what he does. So, I mean, I agree, Michael. You never know these days what you're looking at online. If it's a real video from, somebody that's been somewhere with it. I mean, who knows? How do we verify that?
Let me give you a test, right? Let's test the evidence.
Mhm.
Now, one of the evidence is that Ellen DeGeneres introduced cannibalism to Epstein and his mates.
Okay.
Now, you be Ellen DeGeneres, and how do you bring up, why don't we try cannibalism in a conversation without everyone going, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this sort of gets into the
But how do you do that? How do you bring up, hey, look, it's pretty boring this weekend. We could go to the footy. We could go sailing the Caribbean. Or, the Joneses, they had that new kid. We could kidnap it and eat it. And people going, I'm sorry, what was that last thing? The sailing in the Caribbean. No, the one after that. The kidnapping and eat,
Well,
this is what they're trying to get us to believe. And I'm just wondering if we're so, head effed because it's so this. Is it all true? Or and if it is true, how come Tom Hanks is coming to the footy, and there he is, like he's the star of the show, and yet he's supposed to eat the kiddies? You don't want him to go to Ronald McDonald's guest house or the house for the injured kids, because they might go missing. I mean, this is the insane world they're trying to get us to live in, going, hey, this time you stay away from the kids. And so how do we make sense of it?
Well, there is a much larger conversation to have about, cults and Satanism, and all these sorts of things. These people, secret societies, all that sort of stuff. People's greed, stains their soul, and some people will do any number of things to get what they want, and there's other people that will leverage that greed in whatever form it takes, and by being members of these secret societies and cults and leveraging that greed and all these sorts of things, people do really effed up stuff, Michael.
Okay, so let's, I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just it's just to talk about it.
Yeah.
So there you are. It's like, say you're going, oh, look, you're a great actress, Robyn, but, if you come around tonight, we're having a bit to eat, getting some pizza around, and got a little Puerto Rican pizza coming around. And if you eat it, we probably could get you a movie deal and this and an Oscar. And all you got to do is eat a baby. And I don't think I've met anyone that I know of, but maybe I don't know them well enough, who would go, yeah, cool.
I don't even think we're the same species.
That's what I'm thinking. If it's true, maybe we're a different species.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe there are reptiles.
Who knows?
Even cockroaches don't eat their own young. Rats don't eat their own young.
Why
We
am
just
I
don't realize.
laughing? Oh, people are going to get annoyed at me because I'm laughing.
And why would we eat the kids when we've got all these big fat Americans going around?
Exactly.
I mean, you know, one little baby you feed how many? You know, you get one of the Americans. My God, you can put them in the freezer. You could have them for a year. You know, so why would you do that? There's just things like that don't make sense.
No,
That's very good, by the way.
he wants to show it on camera.
This is a little human occupying himself.
It's Homer. He wants a donut.
Yeah. And so what I think with all this though, and this is today, Cafe Lockdown. Do you know the true origins of Cafe Lockdown?
Tell me.
Václav Havel.
No, I don't know what that is.
So Václav Havel, I think I've said his name right, was a Czechoslovakian playwright and freedom fighter. His plays got banned. He was basically, you know, a state prisoner in his own house, and but he became the president. You know, and what he said, he wrote a piece called "Power and the Powerless," and it's how to have some sort of power when you're powerless. And he wrote this essay for this competition thing, and he got 10 years in jail for it. And I read the essay, and in the essay, what he said was, if the state media won't publish your articles, set up your own media company. And when I read that, I thought, okay, I'll do that.
It's like the light.
Yeah, that's right. And I set up Cafe Lockdown. That's where Cafe Lockdown came from. And that's why I never told anyone. But a few years later, I was somewhere, and a Czechoslovakian actually said, you know what? You're Australians, Václav Havel. So it's not to brag, but it's to show that the ideas that we are having now could reverberate through time. So we think no one's listening. But in time, in another time of tyranny, whatever, people could go, oh, Cafe Lockdown or this or Courage is Secure. So this is a constant battle, what I'm realizing. It's just in our yard now. Well, every year we've been alive, somewhere on the planet, ordinary people have been fighting for their freedom.
Yep. Well, I think I've said it to you before. You're the modern day Henry Lawson. I would suggest, because you know, Banjo Patterson, he romanticized Australia, you know, but Henry Lawson, he wrote about the dirt, the ugliness, the hardship, you know, and all these sorts of things. So yeah, I think you're definitely the modern day Henry Lawson, Michael.
That's a huge thing, but this is where we are now. This is where we are.
Yeah,
and people are really suffering, and because there's so many people suffering, it's like people's empathy levels have been reached, and that's why I think we need to push to things about the heart, not the head. We have to basically rekindle the heart of Australia, because say Paul Hogan was the epitome of that period, the true larrikin, you know, talented, good heart, patriot, and funny as hell. Loves taking the piss. We are so far removed from that now. People can't take the piss. People can't joke. This is what we were saying the other night.
You're not allowed to.
Not allowed to joke. Australians not allowed to make a joke.
It's like
you think we're not facing tyranny. You're not allowed to make a joke.
You know, in 1984 with Newspeak is an actual language, and if you haven't got yourself a copy of 1984, go and at least go to the library and get it out if you don't want to buy it, because it explains at the back how Newspeak was created, and not only its function, all those sorts of things, but you know, and one of the things about Newspeak is that, you know, you reduce the number of words there is, and by doing that, you know, you then stop people from thinking particular thoughts, because there's no way to explain it, right? So it's a form of control.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're witnessing that in Australia at the moment. People are not allowed to joke about certain things. So because we're unable to use that language now, that part of our brain, which is deeply connected to our Australian spirit, whether people like it or not, that will slowly disappear unless, you know, we have a big change in Australia. I don't know what that looks like, but that will disappear because we're no longer allowed to use that language. So
That's right.
people will stop thinking it, and that part of us will be, it's being cut out as we sit here.
And the other thing too, laughter is like our natural antidepressant. It's there to lift our spirits up.
Yeah.
That's why we laugh at funerals. The person's dead and this, but they bring up a funny story and everyone laughs endearingly. They're trying to get rid of that. So a lot of people are depressed. I've just saved something here from Laurie Aston. We've come to a point most are reluctant to talk. That's exactly right, Laurie. You know, you bring up things. We were trying to buy something for the sink the other day, or just today, and I started talking about what's going on with the war and stuff. One guy talks, but the others are like, how do I get out of here? Yeah. You can actually see their hands trembling. Yeah. You know, because you're talking about something and this is where we are. It's that's why the party was quite nice. Or the part that I really liked was after we had a bit of fun, everyone sat down and everyone's talking at depth. You know? Yep. And this is where we're at. Because we've basically been the she'll be right era. The she'll be right era is dead. It's over. Now it's the what do you got to do era. You're just going to sit back and let it all wash over you and just see where you end up, if you end up anywhere. Or are you going to be a part of challenging what's coming, even if we just put up a little bit of a fight to not make it easy for them? Because
I think, you know, just sort of linking that to corporate media, you know, rebranding themselves and getting the podcaster vibe happening. You know, not only are they late to the game, but I think they will fail terribly.
That's me. 32. That's pretty good.
Yeah, very good. I think they'll fail terribly, you know, with this corporate media podcasting gig because, and even anyway, and the main reason I think they will crash and burn is because corporate media are unable to build a community through communication. All they know, their whole model is about being a megaphone and shouting at people and telling them what to think.
Yeah,
right?
Right.
They never build a community, and that's one of the things that podcasting does. Is you build a community. Why? Because you engage with people, you talk to people. You know, some people here in the comments we know personally, you know, because, you know, you've traveled around Australia, you've been able to meet them, or I talk to them on the phone, just like Adrian. That's one thing that corporate media will never be able to do because that's not part of their job description, to build community. So I think they're going to crash and burn them and fail miserably. And I'm going to enjoy watching that burning TIE fire, let me tell you. But that's one of the magical, wonderful things is that even though people are afraid to talk now, there's also a hell of a lot of people that aren't. And just like you said at your party the other night, people sitting and talking in depth and at great length about topics which you know, could get you put in jail these days.
That's right.
That's where, you know, I find the hope and the joy and all those sorts of things is the people that are still talking, these communities. You know?
Yeah. Well, and to give you evidence of that, which Channel 9 can't catch us, when Cret, Wendy and I were going around and I was doing all those interviews and I was on the way to Perth, I think I'd reached Perth, and we were just doing interview after interview after interview. Channel 9 put out that they were going to send a team out on the road to ask questions about people's COVID experience. So they were obviously we were having an effect, and they were going to do their version of it. Yep. And I told Cret and Wendy at the time, I said, that's going to be the shortest show ever because they'll record it, and the only word you'll hear is cut, 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 because there's just so much truth they won't be able to. And they never did it. Yep. And I think they never did it because they knew if they went out there, they'd be betraying the government
Mm-hmm.
because the people would be furious
Mm-hmm.
and want to speak the truth. So this is another thing. Like at the moment, Carl, I really wouldn't worry about him that much because he's reaching an audience we don't.
Yeah.
But he's doing the big things and he can't go live.
No.
They can't be trusted to go live. I mean,
No.
go live in a rant, but look, and maybe, just maybe, there's a part of him that's had enough. Maybe the other side realized he's a great asset. People love him,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe
listen,
something in him wants his soul back. I don't know.
I've had a lot of people. Not only, we were having a bit of a joke before that people were upset that we didn't have the same opinion, but when you'd made your opinion clear and I'd made mine opinion clear about Carl, I had a lot of people reaching out to me, people that know Carl, and I can only I trust these people. I can only believe what they say, that perhaps Carl has changed his tune. I don't know. I can't vouch for that and all these sorts of things. And my opinion actually isn't. It could be anybody. It could have been Carl. It could have been somebody from Channel 2. It could have been any person. I don't care who it is.
Yeah, one of the Channel 2s probably would have been a big one.
It's the person is only the vehicle, for them to
a useful idiot.
Yeah, basically. So I couldn't give two flying whats about Carl. I'm just concerned that they do these things so that they can leverage it in the future and lie to us again.
Well, the other interesting thing at the moment too, which is I was watching the What the F Boys last night. All of us now put our heads in the news every time we go on now because we could get jail.
Yep.
Because the hate speech laws are so vague,
mm-hmm.
and like Damien, I think Damien is the police are taking him back to try and get him more jail sentence, and the judge has basically said, "Look, I know you didn't mean it. I know you're not a Nazi. I know you were making a point. You had a valid reason to make a point. All these things, but because someone somewhere who doesn't know the context could see the image and get offended, we have to." So that's it. Free speech gone. And the thing that got rid of free speech, offense. You might offend someone. So basically, the meek are inheriting the world by force.
Yep.
And this is, and I know people say, "Oh, that's not what the meek means," but this is kind of where we're at. And the other thing, this is the thing that really haunts me. I've talked to a lot of Romanians and Polish, but especially Romanians, because I think under Ceausescu, that was just nuts. And what they said was their parents were going, endure it. They were compliant, saying, look, hoping that things would get better, and they never got better. And what we're seeing now in Australia since COVID, I don't see us getting better.
No.
It's like you said, incrementally down and down and down. And they do it one step forward, one step back, or whatever, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And it's to try actually get us to a point where we just sort of walk into it. It's just like, we're here. This is how it is. And people justify everything. Oh, hate speech laws. Oh, yeah, whatever. And this is, so here, Denise D, free speech gone, that is, emergency. This is why people will have to start going to jail to defend these things.
Yeah.
We're reaching this point now where this is it. I see it, yeah. Yeah. That's Bart. Columba. And so this is where we're at. And the other thing too is we live in a world now of complete hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Especially America is the perfect version of it. They feel that they are being oppressed more by Trump than the women in Iran are being oppressed by Khomeini or whatever the new guy is. It's and you're seeing this. I saw these girls being interviewed. What were they doing? They were going, do you think a 12-year-old could get a tattoo? No. Absolutely no. Do you think they should be allowed to use puberty blockers? Yes. And then one was going, and I know you can see the hypocrisy in that, and she couldn't answer. But this is this. And communism, I've heard, is that it's the ability to have two opposing truths or thoughts in your head at the same time and live peacefully with it.
Yeah.
So something is bad and good at the same time. All depends on what the government says is bad. Because at the moment, George Orwell said freedom is 2 + 2 equals, having the right to say 2 + 2 = 4, and 2 + 2 now means a man can give birth.
I can't believe it. I just cannot believe it. And it's so weird because it's like this is the scary thing about being bombarded all the time and yet things being incremental. It's like being grossly overweight, right? You don't notice day by day by day how fat you're getting. And then one morning you wake up and you go, holy hell, how did that happen? Well, it didn't happen overnight, did it? No. So this is the frightening thing about this is we can see, some people are ignoring it, just like how your daughter said that, people aren't talking about it. All these, some people are ignoring it. There's other people like us and probably in the audience, that we're hypersensitive to it because we're constantly, for whatever reason, doing our research or, writing about it, whatever, talking about it, whatever it might be. So that we suffer that bombardment, and yet, there's this slow, incremental,
that's right.
turning the temperature up, the old frog in the tepid water, and then you turn the temperature up. It's it's just nuts.
Well, look at, to show you a perfect example, AI with the cameras. Every city you go to now, everyone's looking at the cameras. Everyone's changing their behavior for the cameras because the cameras can get you on your mobile phone, seatbelt on.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone, that's AI. There's not humans monitoring those cameras, it's AI. So AI is already controlling us in a way, out of the fear of having these enormous fines. Because people are getting huge fines now. I think my father told me someone got 32 demerit points in one of the first weekends when they brought out the AI camera because he went through somewhere and they were double points, and that was it. So,
well, in case you missed it, the judgment was overturned. So Bunnings is now, using facial recognition in their stores, and also Coles has made a deal with Palantir to have Palantir assess all their information. So, people's loyalty club points, what they're shopping for, when they're buying it, all that information. So that's just happened, in the last month, I think.
Yeah.
Just written an article about that.
And look what Bunnings done. There is no other, there's not as might of 10, which are hard to find.
Yep.
But that's what we should be doing. We should just be going, they get it so it's convenient. It's everywhere. It's so convenient. There's a Bunnings everywhere. They've got everything. Now they're doing facial recognition. You don't want it, but what you're going to do, you need the screwdriver, and Bunnings is right there. Where you need to actually now go the harder yards. Like I still won't use automatic tills.
No.
So I line up.
No. Yeah, same. People, oh my God. Even when the store's empty, right? And I remember one time there was this lady that was going through, the actual checkout, and she had a full trolley, good $2,000 worth in there,
Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought, bugger it, I'm not in a rush. I always stand. I don't go through the automatic checkouts, whatever they're called. So I just stood there, I didn't really care. And this woman, one of the workers, comes up to me and she goes, oh, would you like to go through the self-service thing? I said, no, thanks. I'm right here. I'm fine. She's like, oh, well, you'll be standing here. I'll just go through. I said, no, thanks. I like to be served by a person. And she goes, oh, well, I'll take you over to the self-service checkout and I'll put it through for you. How's that? I said, no, thanks. No, I'm going to wait for the person who's employed. And she just looks at me like that. She says, "Oh, well, okay then." And she couldn't understand
No,
why
no.
I would want to stand there
Yeah.
and go through the check, wait, all those sorts of things. And I thought, how is it that I'm the crazy person? She's looking at me trying to figure me out and I'm looking at her trying to figure her out. How she doesn't realize what's happening to people's jobs, all
Yeah.
these sorts of things.
Absolutely.
But it was just this weird moment where she was trying to figure me out. I was looking at her thinking, what the fuck, It's so strange. But yeah, it's we have to persist. If
Yeah.
you've got the time to stand there and make sure you keep people employed, make sure you do it. Don't give in, people. Don't give in.
Well, that's the same here. Like, see here, I know Mitre 10s are rare, but Bunnings has monopolized. But if they're doing facial recognition, the public doesn't want it, and they're just pushing it against us. Don't go to Bunnings. Just
Yeah.
don't go.
Oh,
Walk
yeah.
in a Mitre 10 saying we're here because you don't use facial recognition, and then hopefully they won't do it.
Yep.
This is another one. This is how he felt in a face mask. That's excellent, actually. That's really good.
Mm.
There's
Axel never wore a mask. Anyway, small human. Whoops. Somebody edit that out. Yeah, I know. I never say your name. Anyway.
There's so here's where we are, and at the top of this too, the country is in a state of grieving because so many of us have people who are injured, people who have died suddenly. We have people going to numerous funerals, and no one says anything about it.
No.
You know what I mean? So we're grieving. There's a lot of us, I think, still have PTSD from the period before.
Oh, God,
and I don't think that's resolved.
Yeah.
They're just being attacked constantly with what to think and what to say with the hate speech laws.
Yep.
So in a way, we are in a war.
Oh, totally.
Well, I totally believe that, but it's a war, like Sun Tzu says, a sort of war where one side doesn't even know they're in a war. This is it. But they're dramatically changing our culture and everything about us.
Yeah, the PTSD thing is real. I was thinking, well, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. We were I know I was anyway, in fight mode for so long, like years. And then without me noticing, went through a period of immense grief. And I didn't realize it at the time, because I lost my career, everything, whatever. And, then you've got all of those stages of grief, which I didn't acknowledge. And so, there's a real need, certainly for me, to be able to let all of that go, because it's been really detrimental to my spirit and my soul. And I think I'm having an internal battle at the moment that letting it go doesn't mean that I forget about it or the significance of it, or I don't keep that history alive, because let's not forget, they want to bury that history so that our grandchildren don't know about it.
That's right.
So that's the kind of internal battle I'm having at the moment, is what does that mean to let it go? Because I have to, because it's, like I said, it's hurt a part of my soul, and I can't keep holding on to all of that, because it's continuing to hurt me, so yeah, that's the kind of internal struggle I'm having at the moment. Yeah,
it's well, to show you an example too from me. There's even relationships I have with people I knew before COVID who went the other way. Some of them are still in my life, and there's a disconnect that you're trying to breach.
Yeah,
but it's really tough because we talk so openly. We're not scared of talking. We go anywhere, talk about anything, throw wild ideas in. Most of them are true, but the other side doesn't do it.
Mhm.
And then you got to go back to small talk. And I'm thinking, I was never very good at small talk. Now I'm shit at small talk. I'm just shit at it. In fact, it annoys me.
Yep.
My tongue goes like, I'm not saying that.
No.
You know? And so here we are. Right now, I feel after all the things we've done, now we've got this war and fuel and everything. So that we're stuck in Perth at the moment because I can't. We've got to see what happens with the fuel. Because our plan was to slowly go around again and take in what's happening in Australia. Just that's all we do.
Yeah.
But now we're sort of stuck here, and we just you suddenly feel powerless. That there's greater forces at work, and you're just having to wait to see what they do.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. That's right.
And then so that gets me back to that Power and the Powerless by Václav Havel, that essay. And I thought, all right, well, here's the lesson we learned. How do we remain ourselves in a system that's determined that we hive mind groupthink? You know? And you're too terrified, you're basically fearful to have a different opinion. You know?
You know, I remember I had a flashback the other day. It was so distressing, like during the mandates.
Well, that's a good thing. Poverty consciousness. Sorry, Cal, just putting that one up. That's good, Denise.
That's a name of an album. During the mandates, I forgot about this, but I would lose my shit when members of the public who were still talking to me at the time, because there was a period when people stopped talking to me, right? And they still don't talk to me. It would really annoy me and upset me when they'd say, "Hi, how you going?" I'm thinking, how am I fucking going? I can't go to work. I've lost my job. You know, all these things, you know, we all know what happened. You know, I can't sleep at night, you know, all these types of things.
Yeah.
And just that one question, I used to think, how insignificant we all are that said no.
Yeah.
That they don't realize, don't even give it a second thought that it's really fucking shit. And how dare you, quite frankly, say, "Hi, how's it going?"
Yeah.
With no thought about, you know, part of the community that's fucking, you know, suffering. So that I really that was a flashback I had the other day. And, you know, that's what I mean about PTSD. It's real, man.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
I'm actually looking for something to go just with that. It's probably on Cafe Lockdown. Someone get it done. Wayne says I get some horses to pull Florence. It's actually not a bad idea. Maybe a bullock cart. But I totally agree with you. There was. I don't know if this will come up because it was on. Let's see. This was the first of the lockdown chats. So this was a while ago. But basically, I was in Melbourne and I went into it's here. It was on Cafe Lockdown. It's one of my first comic rants. I went into Aldi and, you know, everything's dire. And I was a believer then. This was really early on. I was writing novels. I even had a mask on. You know what I mean? Because Melbourne was fucking insane.
Yep.
And I hated going, but I think Rahana didn't want to go. So there I am. And this guy behind the counter's going, "How you going? How's your day?" And he's just going on and on. And I said in the comedy routine, I felt like leaning across and going, "Why don't you take your catalogue, roll it up, and shove it up your fucking ass?" and it's just like, I thought, surely everyone's thinking this way. Could COVID not be happy? How can you be so fucking happy? Instead, he went to me, "Do you want a catalogue?" And I went, "Yeah, all right." So it's not like once I saw it, I thought, this is a lie, I'm going to fight this all the way. I actually got down, I'm locked down. Okay, look, what can I do with my time? I wrote 2 novels. I wrote one in the evening, one in the morning together because I never had a time to write. Now I had time to write. The government was giving us a load of money then in Victoria. I don't know about here, but they were giving us lots of money. And so you sat back and thought, okay, this is like an adventure. Hey, maybe someone's going to die of pandemic. We've got a story to tell. It took a little time before you started just seeing things that didn't make sense.
Yep.
Now, I think as we go forward, our community, I think, should pride ourselves on we want things to make sense.
Yep.
And at the moment, how much things make sense in the world?
Oh, not a lot, tell you.
Not a lot.
You know what? I had a realization a little while ago that when I was still working for the education department, there's Marge, everybody. While I was still working for the education department, I didn't realize it at the time, but in the staff room, there was a lot of conversation about the vaccinations, right? Because everybody knew that they were going to have it at some point, right, to keep their job. And I remember there was this one lady, and she was a volunteer at Perth Children's Hospital. So she was actually able to get Pfizer before everybody else at the school, right? Because she had this volunteer position and worked around sick children, right? Well, the next thing you know, she's not at school for 2 terms.
Oh.
And they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. And then another teacher at that school, she had the first one. She had an immediate allergic reaction. But anyway, I only pieced it together a little while ago that this woman who was in the staff room bragging about being able to get the Pfizer jab because she's a volunteer, she was jab injured. And it was a total mystery at school. You know, how is, what's her name? You know, when is she coming back? Oh, they don't know because they can't figure out what's like. She's done this test and that test, seen this doctor and all the rest of it. And I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Well, we know from Sharon. What's the second name? The one that does all the data. What's that? Cousin Sharon Cousins. She was the first one to discover that the first person to die of Pfizer had it in America and died when she came to Australia, 47 years old. She took it to get into Australia and she died. So before they rolled out Pfizer, they already had a death on their hands.
Oh my!
So they knew. And this is the other big thing. This you've seen the thing in New Zealand.
The inquiry.
Yeah, but you see what's the major guy over there, the Maori guy? I called Liz about it. Simon called me about it.
I don't know.
And so he's let me see if it's got it on. Yeah, it's just a bit slow here at the moment. But he's come out after the inquiry and said they want a deeper one at Winston Peters.
Oh, okay.
Now, what he said here is if the official advice was passed to ministers who ignored that advice and the public did not know the significant risks of taking those vaccines, someone needs to be held accountable. Now, people are going, you can't trust him, he's a politician. But politicians are about very careful language.
Mm-hmm.
And that language is basically saying that either he's articulating the fact that the population want accountability and they're not going to be able to hide from it, or he's a grandkid, great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather. Maybe maybe there's something in him that's rising up, something good. And so, but the thing is, that's another huge statement to make from a major politician, that they want accountability. Because what they found is they have a Freedom of Information Act that the coroner in New Zealand told the health minister, COVID is not that dangerous, not that transmissible. So they knew before they exempted themselves that the vaccine wasn't necessary.
Yep.
And we also know from Dr. Zelenko that ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, zinc, vitamin C, they could have knocked COVID's head off, no problem at all. So we're being lied to. and the lies are continuing. So here's where we are. I think I was actually going somewhere else with that, but I don't know where that was. So yeah.
Yeah, so
Winston's a good guy, says Christmas. Yeah, well, it's like all politicians. Some people are gonna hate him, some people are gonna like him. And now Jacinta's in Australia. She's bought a
Yeah.
stable in the Northern Sherbs somewhere.
yeah,
know?
I wrote somewhere in Sydney, isn't it?
Somewhere in Sydney. Yeah.
Read an article about that as well. That's Trump, apparently. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is because I've got mountains.
So while she's waiting, this is where we're at this weekend. Just look at it. Come on.
Yeah. I've got trash bags full of PCR tests because remember, they were giving them out for free at shopping centres,
Yeah.
at train stations, just to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So I've got trash bags full of them. I've got piles of flyers from protests and campaigns and all sorts of stuff, which, are time sensitive, so you couldn't hand them out now anyway. So I think I'm going to, fires are very cleansing, as is the ocean and all these sorts of things. I think I'm going to, I should rush home with a big bushfire. I'm going to have a fire. I'm going to have a cleansing
Not the day
ceremony.
to have a fire when you've got a huge bushfire.
And I'm going to burn it all. I think that's going to be very cleansing for my soul.
Yeah, I do too.
Actually. So,
yeah.
But
it's hard. I know there's other reasons why you can't move on, but we're always going to be different.
Yeah.
There is, I call it ACBC now. So it's or BCAC, before COVID, after COVID.
Yeah.
Our lives have changed, and whoever's behind this, we're not going back.
No.
So it's almost one thing you got to let go of is your past. I had the same with theatre. Other people had the same with their careers. You just got to realize, that's just tough luck. That's just how it goes now.
Yep.
And the future, I've got a thing saying now that it's a bizarre saying that the past is now unwritten. And so that means the future's unwritten.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're doing back is they're stripping our future. You go to Facebook, they're removing our future, our past. They're trying to put what actually happened. They're trying to control it. They don't want the truth out there.
Yep.
And because of these last 5 years, we've lost our identity because who we thought we were, COVID proved we weren't.
Mm-hmm.
We know we weren't those people.
Yep.
So we don't have a past anymore.
True.
It's a story up for grabs to be defined. I think that's the reason all our interviews are really important. They're actual people
and like
talking.
your book as well.
So we're here that we don't have a past. If you don't have a past, you don't have an identity. How do you fight for the future?
Mm-hmm.
So they're sort of attacking the future by destroying our past. And this is why we have to keep talking. This is why I had a guy reach out. I don't know if he's watching. I probably met him somewhere and he told me a story. I said, you should write a book. He's written 3 now.
Fantastic.
And so he's going to get in touch with me when he's ready to put them up. But this is how it is. Books, getting our literature down. I think for the next time we have Camp Epic in February, I think maybe we put out a call that people write in 1,000 words of what their experience was there.
Yep.
That could go into book. And we literally have to start remembering who we were.
Yep.
And what we're actually fighting for. And there's ways to come back from that. I mean, if we can really remember that we're larrikins, then the way to move forward is to start being larrikins again.
Mm-hmm.
They can't arrest all of us if we start taking the piss.
Yep.
There's not enough jails. And there's certainly enough things to take the piss off. And we just do that, And so it's this different, strange way to fight. It's like propaganda. And as I said, we own Truthganda, which is something my Anna bought for us. So she's got it there. So moving forward now, like I'm here in Perth thinking I'm stuck here in Perth. What am I meant to do? But I really do believe that there's a force of good on our side. I really do believe that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that here we are, we're pawns in this battle, but we've chosen a side.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Richie came around the other day, people trying to get him to back down, but he can't back down. He just can't.
No.
This is too big a fight.
No. Absolutely not. Yeah.
Anything else you need to go off your chest? You going to do it yourself from now on?
Yes, I am. I'll make sure that I well, you're stuck in Perth now, so I can
That's
get my
right.
instructions directly from Master MGG. But I'll make sure when you are able to get out of Perth that I give you a call.
Yeah.
Every time I want to have an independent thought, I'll just run it by you first.
I actually think we should start celebrating the fact that we have difference of opinion.
Yep.
I actually think we should start being seen to debate openly, because the other side cannot debate.
Yes.
So if we're arguing over things we have different, that's, I think, is healthy.
Yep.
We still have the ability to be mates and have different opinions.
Yep.
You know, about Palestine, about anything we can. You know, I think too, as I've been saying it before, I'm really believing that the beauty of Epic is that we all came together. We'd lost everything, had everything stripped away. When we came together, we were loving each other, and we glowed. And I think it's out, and I think all the people were watching who couldn't reach there could feel that luminosity. And I think we should take that light out there, because I'm writing in all my books now, darkness fears the light, and the brightest light. The brightest light is the truth, and that's why we must keep searching for it.
Mhm.
And I don't have the answers.
No.
I don't even sure I have the right questions, because I don't know what I'm dealing with. But I'm willing to keep searching for it. So what's in the
yeah, so well, this is the current edition of The Light Australia, issue 22. You can read the digital copy at thelightaustralia.com, or you can order the paper. Yeah, so we've got some different articles about obviously, you know, the climate scam. There's a paper that was used to about, you know, the problem with our climate. That data was used to shape a lot of policies around the world in regards to climate change, and that paper has been redacted. It has been found to be filled with incorrect data. So that's the article that's on the front page, the Great Climate Retraction. But yeah, as I said, you can go along to lightaustralia.com and you can read the digital copy, or order the paper, or become a distributor. Actually,
we met a 95-year-old in where were we, Kelly? In where Barry lives, Donnybrook. A woman came up to us, her children and her. She's 95. She distributes 500 every time it comes out.
Oh, fantastic!
She's 95. There's now the other thing too about climate change. This is something I really want to talk about. Actually, this is for hope. Now they go climate change, and climate change is basically going, you're going to destroy the planet. You're all going to die.
Mm-hmm.
You know, COVID. It's going to destroy the planet. You're all going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have AI. You're all going to lose your jobs. And then I found this guy, and I've played him before, but he's a bit hard to understand because his Indian accent is very thick. But I've reached out to him.
Than hiring a person. It's not. The math. Everyone knows.
So he talks really fast. So first off, he says everyone thinks AI is cheaper than hiring a human, and he's claiming that they're not. So listen to this. His point of view is amazing. If I can figure out how to work it.
Everyone assumes AI is cheaper than hiring a person. It's not. The math proves it. Companies running AI coding agents on Frontier APIs are already hitting $300 a day in token costs per agent. That's a little over 100K annually for a bot that you can't hold accountable. But that's the price people can see. The real story is the price they can't. Right now, tools like Claude Code charge developers $100 to $200 a month. But developers running agentic workflows and building real products burn through multiples of that. They are consuming far more value than they are paying for. The difference isn't efficiency, it's a subsidy. And we've seen this exact playbook before. In 2015, Uber passengers were paying just 41% of the real cost of their rides. Venture capital covered the rest. Then once the habit locked in, average Uber prices rose over 90% by 2021. AI companies are running the same strategy. Anthropic just raised $30 billion at a $380 billion valuation. They expect to spend $12 billion training models and another $7 billion running them this year alone. They don't plan to be cash flow positive until 2028, and that is considering people keep paying. That means every cheap token you're using right now is being funded by venture capital, not by real economics. So AI is not substantially cheaper than human labor. Companies have been paying subsidized prices, and when that subsidy ends, and it will, companies will realize the agents were never cheaper. They were just using someone else's credit card. If you found this insight helpful, hit follow. See you in the next.
This is the beauty of having an army of podcasters.
Yeah.
I see a lot of new podcasters come out, and I think one of the problems they'll fail is separately, there's just too much to consume.
Yeah.
Where I'm sitting at night looking through anything to anyone who might be interviewed, I come across that. You're doing the same, you come across that. Tom Wayne, Mark Batts, or George Keswick, he comes through this. So a group of podcasters, because there's so much to go through. But that's one of the greatest fear. They depressed our generation, our children, by saying climate change is going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's failing, and they don't care. They go straight to AI. Oh, AI, you're not going to have a job. Well, maybe you will. It's just a con. It's just one con after another by big business just wanting to make more money, and they do not give a flying F about you, your children, or anything. You are nothing to them except a way to make a crust. And you know,
it's like the wind turbines as well, and the solar farms.
turbines,
They're all subsidised as well. Robyn, I was interested to hear Graham Hood say you sent a message to Hoodie re your happiness about Carl coming out. I can read you my message if you like, because I've spoken to Hoodie about what I think about that. Where is it?
I tried to come out, but the gay community said they were happy with the relationship that I was in the wardrobe, and they started to keep it that way.
So I said, I'll read you the part that's pertinent. I said to Hoodie, I've had many people reach out to me regarding my position on Carl. The positive is mainstream conversation. I do acknowledge this. So I was acknowledging to Hoodie that with Carl saying that, it puts the conversation in the mainstream echo chamber.
Hello. Yeah.
So, it's a little bit different to my happiness about it.
But there's an interesting thing, there's look, who's to know? So I'm just trying to use this thing here that seems to be going on and off. Like we said, Carl might be dubious. Like, even though he got 150,000 followers on Facebook, well, Jacinta just got that on her Instagram. It's turned out it's all bots.
Oh yeah, of course.
So that 150,000 could not be. They've just got the money to come in. But the thing is, this is not a place for money. Look at all the podcasters. No one has corporate ads advertising on them. No. And if they get corporate ads advertising on his, people are going to go, why do we need ads? We go this. And the other thing too, which is really interesting, is everyone he's interviewing, our community's interviewed numerous times. Mm-hmm. Rennick, everything. Yeah. So he is getting people to see it who've never seen it before. And those are, and he's probably not going to be blocked on Facebook or censored like we were. But if he pushes it, who knows? But I know. At first I thought maybe this is time for us. Look, I don't know. We'll just see how we go. I mean, basically, we're living in the era of the death of MSN, because it'll just be the really old people who are watching it because they like the people and they're used to it. But the kids, no one believes them. Yeah, they've lied too much, and no one stays in a relationship once they found someone sleeping around. At some point they go, enough's enough. Same with the gambler. And I think they've abused us so much that I think bit by bit we'll just move away from them and they'll become irrelevant. And so we might see podcasts, and we might see Carl and others like Tucker Carlson. Maybe podcasts are the way forward until something else comes along.
Yeah, well, I think even the Go gently.
Thanks, Anthony.
Even the small people have woken up to the indoctrination practices of television. We had a show on ABC Kids the other day. Big long story, but anyway. And there was a question put forward by a small human saying, why do they change the color of all the characters when they used to be a different color? And I thought, what a very observant.
What color character?
Well, you know, like
Ariel.
Who's
Like,
Ariel?
In a new show, they literally. So like Ariel was originally white with red hair. They kept the red hair.
What's the show?
It's a kids Ariel.
So it's a kids show. They're changing the colors of the Ariel show.
Yeah, Ariel the mermaid.
Ariel the mermaid's
The
been
mermaid.
changed to what color is she now? Rainbow? She rainbow? She rainbow?
They didn't change like her.
Purple?
No, not purple. They changed her to black.
Black?
She was originally white, but they kept the red hair and just made her.
Oh, the character became black.
Yeah.
Oh, so
In a new show on YouTube.
she used to be a white mermaid. Now she's a black mermaid.
Yeah, in ABC Kids. There's a
Wow. And that
Royal
wouldn't wash
Mermaid
off in the water?
Adventures.
Oh my god, I can't believe I
You're terrible.
Little Mermaid.
I'm going to jail.
Jane's just asked, where have you been, Robyn? You just disappeared. I did an update last week. I got sick in February, but apart from that, I've had a really stressful time over the past few weeks. So I just haven't been able to maintain my usual timetable. But this week I'm back at it. So I'll be interviewing somebody tomorrow, and that'll go up as well. And so that explains that. Yes. So there you go, everybody. But I've got a medical coder from the US. Her name is Zoe. She's going to come on and she's going to tell us all what she saw during ye olde COVID war with the medical codes. You know, when people came in with a jab injury, but they coded it as something else.
Thanks, Bella. Yeah, that's well, the other thing too is I'm here. We're talking to Richie about doing some sort of more better looking interviews because he's so great at what he does, and maybe interviewing might even do it here or somewhere where we can it's we bought this thing, it looks like it's crap. There's but if you've got a story, we're here. We're in Perth. We're stuck here now because of the fuel. So if you want to reach out and tell your story or have it captured, let's tell it. And I think the reason to have it captured, you think, oh, I've got nothing to offer. Well, you do, because they're erasing history.
Yep.
So if you went into hospital and you saw that the hospital was empty when the people were saying it was busy, let's capture it.
Mhm.
Let's capture it, not for us here now, but for future generations to show that they lied. And they lied to everyone. They were lying to everyone. They were lying to you. And so we should get this up because what was that thing there? Oh, there's Max. I've got
Max.
three people ready to tell their story. So to me, we should get going there and capture it. Because the other thing about WA, the rest of the country, this might be a bit shocking to Western Australians. They don't give a fuck about you.
No.
We don't, unless there's like a mass killing, we don't see any of your news.
Mhm.
The Fisher thing is literally not made a skerrick over there, as you know, a ripple. No one cares. This is reality.
Yep.
And so yeah. Marion, if you wrote lots of stories, put them together, come on, let's see if we can get them published and get them on the Banned Book Company.
Mhm.
It's time to concentrate. I think we've spent years and years now trying to wake people up. Now I think it's the time to cement who we are.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to cement who we are and get down. This is what we're doing, why we're doing it.
Yep.
And I think history is so important now that we capture it and we look back. Because, I've got hard drives with tons and tons of interviews with people. And you look back and you find all manner of things that people have said, you know?
Yeah, so Laurie's just asked about the fishing ban in Australia, in Western Australia. I can confirm it. I've been to press conferences about it. We've written an article. We've got Senator Tyron Whitten from One Nation. He's written an article about it in the Light Australia. It is definitely real. And the really unfortunate thing, which I didn't mention, and I will very quickly because it is important, is the mental health of these fishermen.
Yeah, they're going to be suicides because they bought
fish
huge
ladies.
boats, huge ships. They're
Right.
huge to get into the industry costs a huge outlay. We were talking to the Mackay Diva people in Port Lincoln about it. But if there's fishermen out there, if you want to come and capture a story, we'll capture your story. Anything like that, it's a time to capture it. Same with farmers, and so around. So we're just trying to capture what's actually happening. And if you can't get any ears to listen from the mainstream media, well, we're here, and this is what we do. So we'll be at Topolini's talking about the future here, our greatest asset. And I'll give you a clue. I think our greatest assets are each other. It's a joy to be with Robyn. We do a lot of things online, and to be honest, we've worked together. How many meetings do we have?
I think I can count on one hand.
And what do we do in those meetings? We just laugh and piss fart away through it. We're actually, I would say that we feel that there's something greater giving us orders and stuff, and we just feel compelled to do stuff.
Yep.
And so we're basically on the same train, heading in the same direction, and this is what we do. And we do it in our different ways, but that's everyone in Cafe Lockdown when they come and go. But we feel like this is really important work, and we just do. But we don't actually have many other answers, but we're gutsy enough to ask questions.
That's right.
Hilarious what you're doing. There's and we have the thing to ask questions, and now's the time to ask questions. That's like in that walk of shame. I was outside the big chemist. I thought, what do I say? Do I say vaccines are bad? I actually said, why can't we ask questions about vaccines? Yeah. You buy a car, you ask questions. How much miles has it done? How much work has it had done? How many owners has it has? And you're only going to have that car for maybe 5, 6, 7 years, but
well, we talked about this.
But a vaccine, you can't, that's going in your body forever. You can't ask any questions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're a heretic.
Well, we had a few drinks the other night and we were talking about this. When you go to buy a secondhand car, you get the whatever website that is to do a check on it, to see if there's any finance on it, if it's been in an accident, if it's stolen, or whatever, blah blah blah. We do that when we buy a secondhand car, and people think you're nuts if you don't do that before you
That's
purchase
right.
a secondhand car.
What, you didn't get it checked?
Yeah.
You didn't ask questions?
No, but a spicy needle with no data behind it. Yeah.
Take the jab. Ask me what's in it.
Yeah, what's in it?
I don't know.
Exactly.
What are you asking for? Trust the science. So I'm just going to go through here. We've got a load of starred questions here. Hey, Mike, you were right. So much of my safe stuff is gone. That's right. Get on your Facebooks tonight. Go back 4 or 5 years, even 3 to 4 to 5 years. So much stuff has been removed. So they're memory holding us. This is why we have to start recording our own history. Hey, Michael, I can tell you secondhand that a Mackay-based hospital was barren during the pandemic as I worked with the head nurse's brother. This is the stuff we got to keep. Max has got a few things. Jason Cormick, one of my bosses, used to threaten us, saying he would replace us all with a bunch of Chinese workers. I think the Chinese workers are probably worth more than you at the moment, Jason. I think we're going down in a few pegs.
Well,
not just you personally. I think all of us. Yeah. Can we order a back issue of The Light? We missed the last few.
You sure can. Just go along to lightaustralia.com, go to order the paper, and then you can see all the issues that are available. There's a couple that aren't available technically in stock. If you have that problem, just send me an email at courageofthecureteam@protonmail.com.
Yeah. So Australia for Freedom, I've handled thousands of those letters. And I do, like I tell you, we were in a small Victorian town having breakfast, and a woman came in, didn't see us in the corner. Cafe was empty, and she said to the woman, can I put my paper here? And I said to Cal, I bet that's The Light. And it's a tiny little Victorian town, and it was. And then she turned around and saw us. I said, is that the light? And she turned around and saw us, and she just lost her shit. She was, oh my God. You know? And so this was, but what it was this is how it's showing. No one's handing out the Sunday Times for free all around Australia or anything else. You know what I mean?
People use it for their kitty litter tray, Michael.
Isn't Florence a diesel bus? Apparently you convert it to biomass fuel. Gail, I think that's a great idea. Could you come down and do it for me? Because I have no idea how to do that, but I could look into it. I do produce a lot of biomass. Simon O'Rourke, Bassendean is the cultural hub of the universe. Everyone ends up here. I'll leave that where it is. There's Michael. You're both worth your weight in gold. Being so courageous for a lot. It has. And I'm not saying for that, but we've been doing this for fucking ages.
Yeah, long time.
Long time. I still remember I came to Perth, and someone said, "Have you heard of Courage is the Cure?" I said, "That. It's a podcaster that's using Courage is the Cure." And I thought, "Oh, good. Where's that bitch? That's my fucking saying." but instead we hit it off right from the beginning, and we have this enormous respect for each other. I think we've had one fight the whole fucking time was insignificant. We just sew this together. We huge respect for each other, and I wouldn't want to work with Robyn if she thought everything like me. Be no point.
No,
We are about freedom of this.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So everyone who thinks that, just stop it. Yeah. Well, it's up to you if you want to stop it. But,
the master said so.
but
Stop it.
But we're not. Yeah, we can't see. But we don't give a shit. You know, honestly, I've had so many people going, "Can you get rid of Robyn? Can you get rid of Richard? Especially Richard." Everyone's like, "Oh, you got to get rid of Richard." I love Richard.
Richard's amazing.
Richard's amazing. He thinks differently from the rest of us. He's amazing. He's good to have for everything. Fuck Bunnings. Just go down to the hardware store. Zelda, you are a poet. You sum it up so well. Minor Tennis family owned. Show stopped on Facebook. No comments. Rumble. Any place. Hey, Christian, I've got to send you some plays, man. I'll do that tonight. If I don't have too many Brussels sprouts. And let's see, going through. And I also think, too, this is a suggestion. There's been a lot of infighting. Fuck it all off. It's time to be kinder to each other. Yep. We all we have is each other. And so we need to find the respect for that. I see Wade's getting better, and I wish him the best with that. It's a huge thing I think it's harder to come back from a heart attack, to be honest, having a stroke. So, you know, and we've got Guru who's had cancer. Yeah. You know, there's all these things. And we're going to face more stuff coming on. Yep. And so, so that's about it. Oh, there's Paul Oosterhouse.
Hello, Paul.
Imitation is the highest form of compliment. Carl is imitating us. That's exactly right. They've seen a better business model they're trying to capitalize. Okay, that's it from us. It's been really fun.
Yes, absolutely.
I've enjoyed it. If your place doesn't burn down, I'll come up and do one at your place.
I know. I'm just waiting. My hubby's just messaged me, so our house is still there. It's a good sign. It's a good sign.
This is the part of Matt Finlay. G'day, Matt. This is the part of living in Perth. It's a tinderbox,
especially where I live. Yeah.
I would love to, Michael. I would love you to do Where Are They Now show with Joel Gilmore. Yeah, I have reached out to Joel. Joel's very quiet. He did that film, and he's there's a lot of people. But what I think, they take breaks. They go away thinking, I don't want any part of it anymore. But they sort of come back. So, we have been doing that as much as we can. Mish, we go to places and try to interview the people who've been interviewed before. A lot of them.
Carl needs a bus.
Carl needs a bus. His will have a toilet. That's how you know the difference. That's how you know the difference. And but a lot of people don't want to talk.
Yeah.
They sort of want to move away, or they're frightened. And unfortunately, the fear that I'm seeing now gets us back to the title of Robyn's podcast is, I'll say the first bit, this is where we're at. Fear is the virus.
Courage is the cure.
That's it. It's that simple. That's the truth.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And they're trying to frighten us with AI, war, everything else. And you can feel the fear get in you, but we have to manage it. Yeah. And my own personal thing with it is, and I am a not frail. I am not a perfect human being at all. I'm just a human being. But as much as I can, I want to get through this and remain a decent, empathetic human being. That's my goal in this fight, in this where that's the only power I have, is to not become full of hate, not become full of bitterness, and actually try to give. And I think if we give and we keep giving in any way we can, but at the moment, I do recommend that we are gentle and kind and respectful to other members of the movement, because we've all earned the right to be respected. If you're still plugging away now, we have all earned the right to be affected. And anyone who says different, anyone who attacks us publicly in the movement, attacks us online, well, I would suggest they've been paid by someone and it's not by us. So time to look after each other. As Ben always says, great show. Thanks for stay frosty, free bees. And we've got the free bees. We're going to be putting some ads up. We've got a load here that came to Perth. So we'll get those out again. All right, everyone. Let's play a song. So I've got I can't play that. Everyone will hate me. I'll play this. This is ironic now because we don't have any fuel. You're not going to have any fuel, but we're on Freedom Road. Just pushing the car.
There's a sign on the highway. There's a fork in the road. A lifetime of lessons learned don't mean nothing, it shows. Armchair doctor, experts making all the rules, selling us their theories while they take us all for fools. And there's nowhere left to hide on that freedom road. Don't tell me what to think, don't tell me how to live on that freedom road. Get your hand out of my pocket, I got no more to give, I got no more to give. There's a cop in the distance behind a big box tree. There's a crime being committed somewhere, but the radar gun's on me. A quiet quarter afternoon, I'm doing 105. Like a fat kid on a seesaw, all tilted to one side. And there's nowhere left to hide, and no one's putting up a fight on that freedom road. Don't tell me what to think, don't tell me how to live on that freedom road. Get your hand out of my pocket, I got no more to give, I got no more to give. Clipboard, he's just out of school. He tells me that I'm doing wrong, something he could never do. The writing in a textbook ain't no substitute for life. The rules and regulations, they're just dumbing down our minds. And there's no putting up a fight. They're all just waiting round to die on that freedom road. Don't tell me what to think, don't tell me how to live on that freedom road. Get your hand out of my pocket, I got no more to give on that freedom road. Don't tell me what to think, don't tell me how to live on that freedom road. Get your hand out of my pocket, I got no more to give, I got no more to give.